In our series on budget ARs, we got an Anderson. Now this thing's probably going to be the last one I do, and as we all know, Anderson Manufacturing has been sold. And when it comes down to this, even though you guys talk about quality and everything else, I got this on a flash sale for 373 units. That's all said and done in my hand. Irregardless what you think of this company, that's a pretty damn good price for an AR-15 rifle. You know, but one thing before we get into this, if you would please subscribe and hit the like button to help with the algorithms. And another thing, you're not going to see these prices very long, because once the inventory is gone, you're not going to see these price drops in the future. Alright, so we got the Anderson box. We have a magazine 30 rounder that just says made in the USA. Don't know what it is. We have an Anderson sticker, which will be a collector's item. A lock. And this box kind of protects it pretty good. And we have our rifle with a loaded chamber indicator and all the other fronts, you know, and that's about it. There is no manual, there is no book, no mention of warranty, so let's see what we ended up with. And I spoke too soon. Your manual, if you scan with the QR code, QRC code, it will take you on your phone to the manual, which is still uploading here on Chrome, so we'll skip that, but site can't be reached. I don't know, but that's where your manual was. So, what do we get? I'm going to take a quick look at this rifle. And all of these guns in the same price range are about the same quality and material. This handguard's a little bit different than the others. And a lot of companies are giving you loaded chamber indicators. These are required by a lot of ranges and clubs, that when you're done shooting, you have to put your chamber indicator, your chamber flag in there. It's a requirement in a lot of places. Alright, so we'll get down. Let's do this. I'll get the camera and take a bit closer look at this. So like I said, most of these guns in this price class, or budget guns, whatever you wish to call them, they're all kind of similar. Alright, what we have is our Colt style collapsible buttstock, you know, standard Anderson lower, GI style pistol grip. These handguards are all kind of coming out the same, with the same style flash suppressor. And what I mean by that is these here, they all have this similar type of free-floating handguard that whatever they mount the barrel to the upper receiver with, and it has the two screws like a little clamshell type of deal here. And that's how all three of them have a very similar design to attach to the upper. Alright, and this one I can see on the barrel through there, it has a 1 in 8 twist. This also has, if you look down, that little weird ring for the military profile for like the grenade launcher, snaps on that little ring in there. Probably has a 3/4 gas block with 2 set screws, and then it goes to a thinner profile in the back And I'm going to assume with that, compared to the others, that this has a carbine length gas tube, a shorter one than the others. I think the others were mid-length. So this here may create some overgassing or whatever depending on your ammo. Nothing fancy here. Okay, forward assist. No numbers. And then this one kind of scallops down and has your pick rails up for a front sight. So limited amount of mounting area. You just have the upper receiver and that. And I don't know if these are probably M-locks. And this model designation is the AM-15 utility. My friend bought one of these about 6 months ago, and it was configured different. I think the handguard had the rail going all the way down where this one doesn't. So let's look at it from the other side. Okay, standard Anderson manufacturing. There's your safety lever. It's on one side only. The familiar Anderson scroll, which is now gone. I mean, lowers and everything else. And this is AM-15 multi-caliber. Alright, so that's on there. And there we go, another look. So that is carbine length, not a mid-length. And that's about it. Alright, I'll get the camera down. I'll do a quick thing. Get a hold of this and eyeball it. Check for the peen or the staked castle nut, which I don't think it's there. And then we'll take her apart and take a look at what we got inside. Okay, this rifle has a narrower handguard, and with that light contour, it's lighter than the other models. It's easier for me to grasp. I forget which one it was, the one that has the wide handguard. And your castle nut is not staked. Stock really isn't that comfortable. I don't like these. I like a little bit different stock on there, but as is, you know, it's usable. See if she comes apart. Ooh, it's a little stiff. That will come out. The rear thing is a little stiff there, but a lot of people complain about scratches and stuff like that. I don't see any of that anywhere. No scuff marks. It looks fairly good in terms of that. Now, a lot of people complain about quality control and all that other stuff. There is some people that had some slight issues, and like I said, no matter which gun made by which company, if you look long enough on YouTube, you will find a video where there's some sort of a disaster there. This rear takedown pin's a little stiff. I'm going to have to go get a brass punch to assist that, and then we'll get her disassembled. Alright, and what I believe that is the little detents for the takedown. Like that. They ain't coming out. Them detents aren't rounded off well, and that creates a problem. I'm going to have to tap that with a hammer. Hold on. Yes, when it Comes to your quality control, a lot of people complain about. That had to be tapped out. This rear pin is tight, and when you do snap it all the way over, you see where that little detail. We'll look at that later. Front one's fine. It comes right out. This rear one. So it moves fairly well, but the alignment between it and the tail of the upper receiver may be off a little. Alright, and I was just watching a review of somebody looking at a High Point AR, which High Point's making them, and this has the stainless Anderson trigger group, which I really like these. Anderson used to make these years ago. I did a lot of builds. Actually, two of the guns I have these stainless hammer and trigger group in there. Those I do like. You will find the Anderson receivers, the holes are a little on the loose side, and that's where your pins will walk, but you just get anti-walk pins. There's some pretty inexpensive ones. I know a lot of people argue, "Ooh, shouldn't do that." Well, that's just the way it comes when you're down here in budget land. Buffer and everything in there. Pretty nice. Now, some people have said there was wear and marks on the charging handle right out of the box. This isn't so. And Anderson components, I don't know, I've never had an issue with them. Okay. The staking, there's a slight pinch where the bolts are to hold down the gas tube or whatever. Doesn't look too staked. Some people like them pretty well done. You know, really smacked in there. This appears to have just a slight constriction over these bolts. This is a full auto bolt. Okay. In there. And like I said, this thing's pretty light and handy. This might be one to get. I mean, this fits, it's good to grasp. You know. Gotta clean the barrel out. You know, it does have the two little set screws in there to hold the gas block, and it appears that, you know, they're down in a way, so that means that them dimples were widened. Most of the problems people have is they have one shallow dimple and they just try to secure it with one, and what would happen is one would be low and one would be high. It's not the case. Standard flash hider, and like I said, 5.56 NATO 1 and 8 twist. Marked clearly up here on the barrel. So, not too terrible. I mean, you know, people were complaining the anodizing wasn't, you know, there was bare spots and stuff, but nothing like that here. Everything looks pretty good, other than that rear takedown pin binding like crazy. That wasn't good. Alright, I'm going to clean her up, get it back together, and do a conclusion on this here. The Anderson AM-15 utility rifle. Well, after going through it, didn't really have a lot of factory lubricant or protectant in the bore or nothing. So it's a pretty clean gun. The only thing I could find wrong with it, there's no scratches, there's no any type of cosmetic things. The only problems that we had is the castle nut is not staked. A lot of people look for that. And this rear takedown pin is rather quite stiff. And part of it is the detent not being quite rounded. And also part of it, I believe, is the fit or the alignment between the upper and lower. A little bit on the tight side, but I've had some guns put together with these components, that's what happens. On the good side, to me, this is a quicker handling, lighter than the other two. I kind of like it. It's the barrel profile. It balances well for me. It's a handy little gun. Where to mount a sling or something, that's irrelevant right at the moment. So we're going to take this out. We're going to start shooting it. I'm going to put some of our budget flip-up sights on here. I've been working with them, and surprisingly they do all right. So I'm going to put some budget sights on here, go out, we're going to give it a run some ammo through it, see how it goes. So we'll see if this last one falls in with the rest. Alright, thank you and stay tuned.